Now, what are not-for-profit organizations themselves? And these are, you know, there are many, many non-profit entities. By the way, what's so special about not-for-profit organizations? Yep. Well, it's what it is that your contributions to them, right, are tax deductible. And if they engage in certain qualified activities, they do not have to pay any tax, right? So in this case, these are usually separate organizations. They are exempt from federal, state, and local taxation. And we'll talk about this towards the end. And these are the different types of organizations that we know of. How are they different from government organizations, by the way? Where do governments get most of their revenue from? Mostly taxes, right? And where do not-for-profit get most of their revenue from? Donations, right? So you see the distinction. As if you were giving money to the not-for-profit, what would be your interest? Why? That they are doing what? Why would you give them the money? You would give them for charity, but what would you want to see? That they're using it properly, right? So they are accountable to what? The people who donate to them, right? Governments are accountable to what? The taxpayers, right? Okay, you get the distinction. Good. Okay, and this is how governmental and not-for-profit organizations differ from business organizations. Resource providers do not expect to receive proportional benefit. There is a lack of profit motive and absence of transferable ownership right. Important stuff, don't forget it. Okay? Notice that last one, we talked about the first two, absence of transferable ownership right. Can you sell a government like you can sell a business? No, it doesn't work that way, right? And that's one of the key distinctions. And there's another piece which is kind of, for governments, there's another piece, if you can think of, that business organizations don't have. What do you think? What can governments do? First of all, we talked about the power to tax, right? But the other thing is that they can borrow money at what? Tax-exempt rates, right? Does everyone understand what that means, tax-exempt rate? If you're a corporation, you go out and borrow money, right? And let's say you pay 10%, 8% interest on it. If a government goes out and borrows money, would they be paying the same 8%? No, they pay less because people who derive interest income, that interest income is non-taxable. If it's interest income from a corporate bond, it's taxable, but if it's from a government bond, it's non-taxable. That's why they can afford to raise money at a lower rate. Did everyone get a chance to look at the GASB white paper that I asked you to take a look at? It is important that you do that because it really goes into the heart of this subject itself. If nothing else, take a look at the executive summary. Make a note to do that, okay? Because this really emanates from that GASB white paper. It's in the first unit itself, by the way. And these are the distinction between, any questions, by the way, so far? So far, anybody has any questions? Okay, everybody get what I'm saying? Power ultimately rests in the hands of the people. How does that happen? Elections, exactly, right? You elect people who do what? Appoint people to run the organization itself, right? That's why it rests in the hand of the people. In the hands of the people, and people delegate power to public officials through the election process, and they're empowered by and accountable to a higher level of government and taxation. Now you look at this and you say, geez, this is an accounting course, I'm learning all these other things. Well, that's what makes government accounting different. You have to really understand the environment within which governments operate. to understand the financial statements of the government itself. Okay? And in this case, this is how the not-for-profit organizations obviously don't have all of those things. They don't have the power to tax. They're only, they're accountable to those people who donate to them, and they have their own board of directors. So now a couple of other things here.